Hello everyone, my name is Edward Kim and this is my midterm project for CIS3367 with Professor Adrian Wheeler. I chose to do my research on the breakdown of motor vehicle collisions in New York City by location, number of injuries, time, and contributing factors. The reason why this topic resonates with me is because I was involved in an accident a few years ago and sustained some injuries. So I'm eager to look at both the qualitative and quantitative implications of all the accidents happening around us today. The data I used came from NYC Open Data. It is a free online database that anyone can use to their content, and it promotes the idea of transparency and innovation in New York City. The reason for this data being collected and disclosed is because the New York City Council has passed Local Law number 11 in 2011. I'll be using this data in attempts to discover when, where, and how often these accidents occur and the amount of repercussions it causes in New York City. Let us begin. As you can see, there are several thousands of rows of information. For the purpose of this project, we will be focusing exclusively on the year 2018 up until March 13th, and will also refer to the prior year for one part of the analysis. To make things simple and less cluttered, I filtered out previous year's data to show only 2018. And from a quick glance, it seems that numerous accidents have occurred almost every day of the year thus far. The first metric that could be factored into accidents is the time of year. And in order to do so, we're going to make a time series graph from the previous year, 2017. I separately extracted the 2017 data into another sheet as seen here. And before we create the pivot table, I'm going to take out the month of the accidents into column G by labeling this month and putting the formula equals month B A2, and applying it to the whole column. This will later be helpful in making a slicer for this time series graph. We then select our data, insert pivot table, OK, put boroughs into filter, number of persons injured into values, and finally the date into rows. We will then insert our time series graph, insert, line, and the first option here, and make it a little bigger here. Last but not least, we're going to create slicers and check off both month and borough. So insert slicer, borough, and month. And these slicers are useful in narrowing down any information we may want to look at in a more microscopic level. So here's by borough and here's by month, and you could do it simultaneously. Through a month-to-month analysis, the amount of accidents resulting in injuries is a constant wave of ups and downs. However, by looking closely, the two highest peaks are during the winter months of December and January, and the lowest being during the summertime. In winter, snow and inclement weather conditions may affect the road conditions, leading to the possibility of more accidents and injuries. Therefore, people who operate motor vehicles in that period of the year should practice extra caution and care to prevent collisions. Diving deeper into our data for 2018, I want to analyze the number of injured by both hour and borough. The data didn't provide me the hour, but instead the exact time. So just like before how I did with the month, I'm going to make a new column over here, label it hour, and put in the function equals hour B2. Simply apply it to the whole column. We will then select our data, insert pivot table, OK. Borough will go into columns, hour into rows, and number of persons injured into the values. And just to take out some irrelevant data, we will take out the blanks before we make the chart. Next, we will put our stack column chart, insert 2D column, and stack column. Make it a little bigger. And just like before, to help us, we're going to insert two slicers based on both the borough and the hour. You can feel free to play around with them later on. However, just from analysis, we can see that a majority of accidents causing injuries happen in the evening hours, specifically within the Queens and Brooklyn areas. One other thing that I want to look into before moving on is if the day of the week affects the frequency of the accidents, and a good way to show this is through a heat map. We're going to go back to our 2018 data add a column labeled weekday, and put in the formula equals weekday A2, comma, 1. 1 being the beginning of the week, Sunday, and apply to the whole column. We then select our data, insert, pivot table, OK. We're going to put weekday in 2 rows, hour into columns, and number of persons injured into values. And again, take out some irrelevant information of the blanks. So now we will go to Home, highlight our data over here, Conditional Formatting, Color Scales, and select the second one. We can now easily identify the highs and lows of injury-causing accidents by weekday and hour. The verdict supports the notion that there is a higher risk of collision in the evening, more so on the weekdays. Up until this point, we have been looking purely at the numbers involved, but now let's change gears and move on to a more qualitative approach by showcasing the contributing factor for accidents. The final chart we are going to construct is a 2D pie chart. So going back to 2018, first select the data, insert, pivot table, OK. And the only 2 metrics we're going to put in is number of persons injured and contributing factor to vehicle 1. And then we insert over here, pie chart 2D. There are numerous amounts of reasons for a car accident, and what I'm going to do now is to filter out the top 5 contributing factors by selecting value filters over here, top 10, and going down to 5 items. The top 5 factors are as follows: unspecified, driver inattention, distraction, failure to yield right away, fatigue, drowsy, and following too closely. We could say that most of these factors are primarily the driver's fault, and these risks can be mitigated through stricter laws, regulations concerning the duty of care, and promoting proper driver's education courses. Also, if we scan through the other contributing factors, several of these factors are rarely in connection with defects or external conditions. In case we do want to investigate other factors later on, we will insert a slicer by the contributing factor. After all is said and done, to save some time, over here I have brought over all the charts, slicers, and heat map into one consolidated worksheet to create a dashboard. I have removed the gridded lines and ribbon for a cleaner look, color-coded the pivot charts and slicers, and labeled and arranged the charts as well to my own liking. Having everything on one dashboard helps us compare the different metrics and analyze which factors have more influence in causing an accident. By doing this project, I also realized the importance and usefulness of slicers in respect to filtering out or even honing in on specific data that can't be detected from a broader view. These results have led me to my conclusions that the most accidents leading to injury occur in the winter. In 2018, collisions are more likely in the evening hours and in the boroughs of Queens and Brooklyn. I believe this is a fact because of large populations inhabiting the 2 boroughs, and with this assumption that many of these people are daily commuters who either go to work or school in the city. Without a doubt, the increasing number of people getting injured in these kinds of incidents is a problem that must be addressed. In my opinion, both the recklessness of people and the inadequacy of strict law enforcement in New York City play equal roles in such events. When I look at the people around me, there are instances when I see others getting away with what should be considered an accident, and it should definitely be brought to attention no matter how little the injury. New York City should push for more regulation requirements for drivers to comply with, such as speed limits and constant monitoring of driving standards. That way, people will be motivated to be more careful, and in the long run, it will cause less noise for all of us. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that the analysis has helped to focus on certain aspects of the data that was provided for New York City motor vehicle collisions. Have a great day.